Now we talk about all the bad stuff. What do you enjoy most?
Honestly, it's actually the information. Like you just know so much information. It just improves your life, you know, in so much ways, you know.
But it's just information on medicine, right?
Well, it's not just information on it. It's also your body, like your eating habits, and all, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Okay. Because like I learned, I study public health.
Right.
So, you know, I learned about nutrition and all that stuff, and I think that stuff is useful because everybody needs it.
Right.
But, you know, like, I always thought that in medicine, or in pharmacists, you know, you're learning about, like, chemicals that go into a pill and things like that.
It also how it affects the body and whatnot. It's not just medicine, not just drugs that pharmacists has to learn. It's a whole bunch of other stuff that we have to learn too.
I think basically what a lot of people make a mistake of is that we do learn a lot more, emphasizes on medicine, but along with that, all drugs, like your food that you eat, it's like another form of drug, or like just your herbal supplements or drugs considered to be drugged. And so like ginger is what a lot of Vietnamese people use, right?
Yeah.
That's sometimes it affects the drugs that you use, so we have to learn also about that stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
You have to learn so much. Kính thưa quý vị, là cái ngành dược thì nhiều người giống như là Lê Chí Thưởng á, là mình học về những thuốc, những cái chất mà nó ở trong thuốc, nhưng mà các bạn ở đây cho Phơi biết là mình học thêm nữa, không những là những cái thuốc đó, mà mình có thể học thêm nữa là làm sao nó ảnh hưởng cơ thể của mình như thế nào, những cái đồ mình ăn uống và những cái thứ mình uống vô nó có thể ảnh hưởng cơ thể như thế nào. Thì những cái tài liệu đó đã là một cái lý do mà làm cho Joseph muốn vô cái ngành này, là tại vì anh cấy rất là nhiều những cái sự hiểu biết. So what are some traits that you guys have to possess, you know, in order to succeed? Just like, you know, I think in, you know, people are getting their doctor, and, you know, it's a lot of times people, they, you know, give up because it's just so incredibly hard.
Right.
And then some people, you know, that you just don't have the skill for it, you know, like what I'm doing right now, you know, like hosting, for example. Naturally, you know, some people you have to have, you know, the natural skill. Is there like a skill you have to be a pharmacist?
You have to be studious.
Studious, okay.
Good work ethic.
Okay.
You have to have patience. Patience
Why
with
patience?
well, when you work, there's a lot of patience, and they get on your nerves, so you have to have patience with them. But I mean, because like not most students, but I would say half of the students, they work, and they work in the pharmacy field as a pharmacy technicians.
Right, to get the experience.
Exactly, and then basically, you do need to have patience with them because there's a lot of stuff that goes wrong in a work environment. But then another one would be you have to have motivation. I think that might not be a trait, but that's something you really have to. You have to be interested in the field. If you're not interested in the field, then you might as well give up because it's a lot of science.
A lot of studying.
A lot of studying.
Yeah, and if you don't have that inspiration for it, or, you know, be motivated, I mean, you're not going to be able to retain all that information.
Exactly.
Does retaining your information, does that carry on? So say from your first year to your second year
Yes.
and so on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Because, you know, like I remember back in like middle school, high school, when we're learning about history,
yeah.
you know, each year we learn about something new. But like I may not like remember about, you know.
We have to because, you know, people's lives are on the line, so we have to know our stuff.
Wow. Okay, well, speaking of that, people's lives are on the hand. What do you think, doctor versus, you know, a pharmacist?
They have to say, but
Okay.
because they're first, their first line. They're the one who diagnosed the disease.
The client or the patient.
And we're the last line, where basically we make sure the drug that the medicine that they receive is correct. And if it's not, then we talk to the doctor, we talk to the physician, and we try to make it, you know.
So the doctor would be like, okay, so you have a fever, but then it's up to the pharmacist to say, okay, I recommend this and that for you?
No, they do recommend what drugs to take because they do have like a general knowledge of the medicines that treats the general disease. But then if there's something better that we can, you know, better recommend, that's when we step in.
Got it. Okay, what about you? Are there any traits that you think you need to succeed in this career?
I don't know. I guess dedication would be a big one for me. I think you have to dedicate your time, and then also just your life to it. I think it's consumed a lot of your life. I mean, sometimes you have to give up things that you always want to do just to study for your future, or to study what you need to do.
Yeah, because you mentioned that you have a daughter, so you have a family. How has that been? Does that affect your...
Yeah, it's... I spend most of my time with my son. That's why I'm kind of falling behind in some of my classes. But I think it's really hard. I think I spend as much time as I can, and then I have to go to work, and it's really sad because sometimes I feel like I'm abandoning him because there's something else. But it's okay, I think.
Okay,
they'll understand.
But if you chose that career, you're gonna have to keep
going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Is there a time where, I mean, can you stop and then continue?
I think
you know, like in undergrad.
If you're pregnant, yeah, you can stop.
Okay.
But no, you can't like just stop.
Okay.
Unless you have
take
some
a break or something.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Okay.
Unless you have a really good reason to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically you just have to keep on going.
Kính thưa quý vị, là tôi đã tìm hiểu được và biết được là với cái ngành bác sĩ và cái ngành dược sĩ thì nó khác nhau như thế nào. Bác sĩ, kính thưa quý vị, là họ là cái người mà đã tìm ra được cho một người đó bị bệnh như thế nào, nhưng mà người dược sĩ sẽ là người mà đưa ra toa thuốc. Nếu mà người này bệnh như thế này, họ có thể là giới thiệu là thuốc này là thuốc tốt hơn, vân vân. Thì có nghĩa là hai người cũng rất là quan trọng đối với tất cả những người ở trong thế giới nếu mà ai mà bị bệnh. Và thêm một cái nữa là, kính thưa quý vị, là khi mà vô cái ngành này rồi thì các bạn ở trong tôi biết là cần nhất là cái sự chịu khó và cái tính nhẫn nại. Tại vì mình sẽ lúc nào mình cũng sẽ giao tiếp với là rất là nhiều người bệnh nhân, và bệnh nhân nhiều khi có thể làm cho mình hơi giận hay gì đó, nhưng mà mình phải có cái tính nhẫn nại. So before we end the show, first off, I want to say thank you for both of you guys for all of these, knowledge. And I mean, I just breezed through college and undergrad. I just went to public health, get my degree. Now I'm working, and for a bit I was thinking, maybe I should go back, but I'm terrified of blood. So that's why I was like, okay, I can't do doctor. But now maybe, like you guys are making me think maybe I could go to pharmacist. There's no blood there, right?
Not really. Not a lot.
Not a lot?
Like blood, like when you take your blood glucose, your sugar level,
okay.
There's a little bit of blood, but
okay.
A little bit.
Okay, so it's like a cut. Maybe I can manage with that. But what do you have any message to the audience, or maybe somebody like me who wants to get into it, or for the parents? Have your parents been supportive of you guys? Has that helped?
Well, I would say like I said before, it took me 3 tries to get in. Just keep on trying. Don't give up. Be motivated. Be interested in the field, and volunteer with your pre-pharmacy clubs. And parents, just let your kids study. Let them do whatever they need to do. And support them all the way. They need that support.
Actually, you just mentioned about volunteering. How important is the work experience and stuff like that in this field?
Well, actually, if you work, you get a good sight of the field itself. So if you work at Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, then you're getting the bulk of what pharmacy generally is.
Okay.
But if you can't do that, then you might not be able to do pharmacy. But that's just one part. Okay. Remember that. It's one part, but it is a big part.
Okay.
And then volunteering is a big deal, especially to the schools now. So get into your clubs and start volunteering.
I think a lot of the schools now are looking for well-rounded people who could juggle school, multitasking and stuff. So volunteering is important in that they also want to see that you're giving back to your community and just not just taking,
Right. Because later on you're going to be taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and I think the work experiences, like Joseph said, gives you an eye-opening to what you're going to be going into, but also it makes school a little bit easier, because sometimes people that have all worked at like Walgreens, at the hospital, they know some of the drugs already and what they're commonly used for. So like they don't have to study as much, but they still have to one section of it. While you don't have that experience, you have to study a little bit harder than those people who has experiences.
Okay. Cho các bạn trẻ mà nếu mà đang xem chương trình này, nếu mà các bạn nào mà muốn đến và vào trường dược sĩ thì cái sự mà quan trọng nhất là các bạn này đã nói, có nghĩa là mình phải làm việc tự nguyện, mà mình đi làm volunteer vào những cái hội hoặc là những cái bất cứ những cái trung tâm nào. Cái kinh nghiệm đối với lại những cái trường học rất là quan trọng, tại vì họ cho mình thấy được là cái bạn này họ có thể làm vừa đi học, hoặc là họ có một cái tâm thần để mà đưa lại cho cộng đồng. Thì Play một lần nữa, nếu mà các bạn trẻ nào mà muốn có thể là đến và tìm hiểu thêm về Texas Southern University, có thể đến và coi những cái chương trình dược sĩ của họ. Thank you, Joseph and Juan again for being here. Thank you so much for all this. Maybe I will go into pharmacist now.
Xin kính chào quý vị ở Van TV.
Dạ vâng, kính thưa quý vị, là ngày hôm nay Play rất hân hạnh được có hai bạn trẻ ở đây. Thì Play chương trình đến đây xin chấm dứt. Play xin hẹn gặp lại quý vị kỳ sau. Xin chúc quý vị một ngày thật là vui vẻ. Xin kính chào quý vị.